He leaned close, exhaled smoke straight into my face, and smiled. Then he shoved me. When I tried to leave, he chased me, threatening me, before flicking a lit cigarette into my chest. The police said there was nothing they could do. That's when I decided to show him exactly how much damage legal revenge can do. If you ever felt powerless after someone crossed a line, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment if you believe justice doesn't always come from flashing lights. Sometimes it comes from patience and precision. Let's get into it. I'm a delivery driver. Late nights, cheap tips, hot bags burning your palms. Nothing glamorous, just honest work. You learn quickly that respect isn't guaranteed, but most people are decent. Most. That night, the motel parking lot hummed with the dull buzz of neon. I balanced a pizza box in one hand, card reader in the other, and knocked. The door opened to stale air and cigarette smoke. He didn't step outside, just stood there, cigarette dangling, eyes flat. I smiled. Habit. Evening. Totals on the screen. Whenever you're ready. He took a long drag and blew the smoke directly at me. Not drifting. Aimed. My chest tightened. I felt the heat crawl up my neck. I kept my voice calm. Hey, would you mind waiting until we're done? That's when he snapped. His face twisted like I'd insulted him personally. He launched into a tirade, names, insults, spit flying. Then he shoved me, hard enough that my heel caught on the railing. Instinct kicked in. I backed away. Have a good night, I said, turning. He followed me down the second-floor walkway, boots thudding, threats spilling out. My pulse hammered in my ears. When I hit the stairs, he flicked his cigarette. It struck my chest and fell, still glowing, to the concrete. I didn't yell. I didn't swing. I left. I called the police from my car, hand shaking, shirt still smelling like smoke. I told them everything. They listened, nodded, and then said the words that hollow you out. Lack of evidence. He's leaving the state in the morning. Click. I sat there longer than I should have. Anger buzzed under my skin, not the explosive kind, the cold kind, the kind that keeps you awake. I had his name, his phone number, a receipt with a timestamp, and the knowledge that he thought he'd won. For days, I replayed it. The shove, the chase, the cigarette hitting my chest. That grin. I hated how small it made me feel, like my job made me disposable. I also knew one thing. Doing something stupid would only hurt me. I needed revenge that didn't put handcuffs on my wrists. So I started reading. Motel policies, credit card rules, consumer protection, public records, terms and conditions, the boring stuff everyone ignores. That's when it clicked. People like him rely on chaos and intimidation. Systems don't. First, I called the motel. Not angry. Polite. Calm. I gave the date, time, room number. Explained that a guest assaulted a delivery driver on their property. Mentioned liability. Mentioned that I'd already contacted the police and would be happy to provide a statement if their insurance needed one. There was a pause. Then the tone changed. They asked for my information. They thanked me. Next, I contacted my store. Filed an incident report. My manager backed me immediately. They flagged the address. Then I disputed the charge. I didn't lie. I described exactly what happened. Assault during a transaction. Unsafe environment. Service rendered under threat. I attached the incident report. The bank opened an investigation. And finally, this was the hardest part, I waited. 3 days later, the motel called back. They'd reviewed security footage. No sound, but plenty of visuals. A man following a driver, gesturing wildly. Something small and glowing arcing through the air. They apologized. They refunded his room for the remaining night, then charged him a damage fee for violating the no-smoking policy in a non-smoking room. They also flagged him internally. The bank ruled in my favor. Charge reversed. Then came the part one didn't expect. A week later, I got a voicemail. Unknown number. It was him. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't threatening. He was confused. He asked why his card had been charged again, why the motel was calling him, why his bank was making a big deal out of nothing. I didn't call back. I didn't need to. The satisfaction didn't come from hearing him angry. It came from knowing he couldn't bully a system. He couldn't shout down policies. He couldn't threaten terms and conditions. I went back to delivering pizzas. Same job, same streets. But something was different. I stood taller. Because justice didn't show up in a squad car that night, but it arrived anyway. Quiet, documented, permanent. Revenge doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the most satisfying payback is letting the rules do what fists never could. Teach consequences. If you've ever turned helplessness into control, drop a like. Subscribe for more real stories where patience beats intimidation. And tell me, what's the smartest legal revenge you've ever seen?